3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah the Rebel.
And I'm OhCatrina.
And this is Woman Up Podcast. This is the podcast where two crazy cat lady feminist chicks talk about geeky stuff.
And and Hello Kitty.
And Hello Kitty sometimes.
We've had an interesting week, of course, as per every week. So we have a little news to run down. We were off last week because our show assistant, Smokey, who does nothing, was very sick. But he is okay. He is back. He's standing around giving everyone 1,000-mile stares. So good to have him on set.
He's good at staring. Yes, Smokey is okay. Thank you all for bearing with us as we almost went through old man cat death.
Yes. Very bad.
Well, for future reference, when Smokey does die, the podcast will probably be postponed for a month in mourning of this little cat humper. Anyway, so today I decided to put our main topic ahead of our news because I'm stupid, so let's just mentally not do that. But today our main topic is our top 5 fictional role models, women in television. So we'll get back to that after we run down the news. We don't have as much news as normal because there isn't really a lot of news.
Everything that went on this past week is Star Wars, which I could recount without having written it down, so we're good.
Right. Amazing. Perfect.
Wonderful.
I can't tell you anything about what happened with Apple today.
No. Oh, yeah, right. I was like, I'm going to put this link here and I'll read it.
I just didn't care. I didn't care.
I'm sorry.
So I didn't do it.
There's like, the only thing that would have ever convinced me to get an and this isn't even shitting on iPhone, it's just I really like my Android, was I was going to get it because I thought the BB-8, the Sphero BB-8 was going to be iPhone only. And I was like, oh man, I got to get an iPhone now. So now I don't. So I didn't get an iPhone because it's for Android too. So
can we dive into the serious fandom psychosis going on right here? A, you haven't even met this droid. As I've mentioned, we all have a reason for loving R2-D2. We watched a movie and we fell in love with R2-D2. No one has seen that BB is anything but a little roly ball. He could have no personality. He could be the Jar Jar Binks of robots. We don't know.
My BB-8 has personality, so.
And meanwhile,
and I like him, and he gets along with my cat.
She is so obsessed with Star Wars that you would go and buy a new phone to have a toy.
I didn't, though.
Robot.
And this was something that I was only considering, not something that I was going to do.
You wrote it down. You were like,
I was thinking about it. I was like, let me see what the iPhone 6 looks like, or does, or a 6S, whatever, 6S G Plus shit, whatever that is right now. I haven't looked at it. I missed the conference. I'm sorry. I was writing and doing my job, which I have to do during the day, which sucks. So I missed everything. I missed everything. Apparently a lot of stuff happened today, and I missed it.
I watched on Twitter what everyone was saying, and just everything. You know, like, that's how I actually watch a lot of
television
about
a pencil?
Nowadays. Yeah, I was like, oh, don't call it a stylus. And I was just like, I don't care.
It's a pencil. And then, like, people were posting Steve Jobs quotes that were like, if you need a stylus, you failed. So that's all I know about the Apple conference today. There's some stuff with Apple TV. So there are some really cool things. There are certain video games now that you can play on Apple TV, including Disney Infinity 3.0, which is really neat. A lot of the games are kind of more on the family side. They're things that you play with your kids, but it's cool to see that TV is becoming a gaming system, but also sort of terrifying. But I mean, gaming systems are basically becoming TVs at these
right. Yeah, it's the same way. This is my favorite quote from the Mary Sue Live. They said 97% of Apple Watch owners are satisfied with their purchase. 97% of you don't own one and don't care.
So Apple happened today. Yay!
Yes.
So that's out of the way. But the first topic that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure Sarah has stuff to say about this too, is the new comic book out called Raising Dion. Now this is an indie comic. There is no publisher behind it just yet, but it's by the artist and writer Dennis Liu, and it looks amazing. They released this live action trailer for it, even though it's a comic, and it's a wonderful story about a single black mother who raises a superhero. Her child has superhuman powers, and so basically it's about how she raises him, and she creates this like picture book to teach him how to use his powers, and then she has to protect him from government agents, She has a sidekick. Her dead husband's best friend is helping her out. So it's a really cool looking story, and I love that it's being told from a single black mother's point of view. Like, this is, you could already tell from the response how important this is to certain people, to most people.
I think it's more than just, you know, we put a black woman here and we're doing this comic about, you know, a child with superpowers. I think it speaks to so many people on a deep level because it's also an analogy for motherhood itself. Trying to raise your child who might be gay or might be another race or is another religion than the people around them, and how do you both be a good parent to love your child yet also protect them from the way the world is going to perceive them. I just think it speaks to so many different issues, and that's why this could be such an important work.
It's so relatable on so many levels, so absolutely. Please check it out. The first issue is online for free, but if you like it, you should buy it and support the artists because they need some money to get together so that they can do issue 2 and continue doing the run. So,
and on top of that, just anytime someone does something independent, you know, we complain, well, why aren't there more this, why aren't there more that? People are going to watch this, and if they see that a lot of people are willing to put their money where their mouth is as far as this type of comic is concerned, that will influence other decisions, because the comics industry is very focused on money because they're actually a really, really small industry and they don't make hardly any money. So the easiest way to convince them to change is to throw money at them.
Yes.
So throw money at things you like, kids. You may throw your money at me at any time. So we actually, like we said, we missed last week, so there are a few things we had to catch up on. One of those things was Idris Elba being too street.
Yeah, there's a whole story to this. I'm not being in defense of the term too street, but the author basically had suggested another actor, Adrian. I
can't remember who he suggested, but he is a black man.
Yeah, and he was a black man, but everyone was so focused on the fact that Idris Elba was black, and I even noticed this. I noticed this a lot in the people who agreed with the author, and they were like, "Well, you know, James Bond is supposed to be white," and I'm like, "Did you even read?"
Right.
Like, so the author, he apologized almost immediately. Idris Elba took it in stride.
As usual.
Of course, because he's perfect.
I do think, though, it does still sound like Idris Elba is a black man who threatens me, whereas this guy's a black man who doesn't threaten me, because what he was specifically referencing was one character that Idris has played. And I was like, was Heimdall really street?
I was like, wait a second, Idris Elba street?
Was Pentecost a real street kind of leader of the fucking, like...
No, have you listened to Idris Elba talk for a second?
Right.
Ever?
I was talking about this with our DM of our board game night, Rick, and he's a very small, compact white man, older. He was like, I'm more street than Idris Elba!
It's very funny because he's just this elf guy.
He's a little elf, yeah.
Little elf man. I'm a little elf man. Yeah, there we go. He's a little elf man. And it's just like,
no. So I can definitely see why people were mad either way.
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
if it wasn't his intention to be racist or anything, it still speaks to, you have some preconceived notions about this person that have nothing to do with his acting ability. Maybe you should have shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's I think that Idris Elba is too good to be James Bond at this point.
You're too good for this.
Like, seriously, if I was a movie studio, I'd be like, let's have Idris Elba do a spy movie. Just because. We're throwing away our money on, like, stupid-ass fucking...
all the time.
Movies all the time.
If
Transporter 4,
Vagina
whatever.
Dentata.
Yeah, you know, like, you can make Transporter 4, but you don't want to make Idris Elba as a spy movie. Like, that movie had a bad opening.
Yeah.
1.9 million, I think? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was the Zac Efron one. Whatever, white guys.
You know, it's all the same. So, also in things that happened in the past that we have to catch up on, I went to PAX. It was a really great time. I represented Larian Studios on their socials, so they have Divinity Original Sin 2. It's out on Kickstarter right now. You should back it, and I'm not just saying that because I worked with them. I'm saying it because everyone who came by the booth who was like, yeah, I backed the first one, so I basically have already given my money to this one now because, oh my god, it was amazing. How often do you hear about a Kickstarter campaign that was so successful that people are then ready to support the next one? Like, that's actually a really big deal. So if you like RPGs and computer games, you should probably get it. PAX was really awesome. They had a black blood fountain, which was for Dark Souls 2. guy like stabbing, like blood was just spurting out. It was really cool. Ruined my friend's pants though.
Oh yeah, because it was so okay. So I know it was at Comic-Con, but I didn't see it. But it was at E3, and they didn't spray the blood because it was inside. So because if you had the blood, you had risk if you were like in front of the fountain a foot or so. Yeah, you're gonna get some blood on you.
Right, because it was misting up and it was splashing a little bit. So yeah, but it was cool. So cool. So it was also really awesome to see, I said awesome twice, all the indie games there as usual representing, and Minecraft made like a little house you could walk through, which was kind of the coolest shit ever, and I was like, I don't even like Minecraft, but I would like go in here and touch all the things.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I think overall PAX was really cool, really fun. They made a lot of announcements, which you've all already heard because that was now like, what, 2 weeks ago? Anything else we had to catch up on? Oh, and people going ham on Denise.
Okay. I have a lot to say about this matter, and I feel disgusting because it's about, like, puppets, but don't slut-shame Denise, okay? Like, what the fuck did she do but start dating somebody? It is not her fault that she is dating Kermit the Frog, and you know what? Miss Piggy has become a feminist icon, and she's real strong, and she's scoring all the dudes, but let's not forget that she used to beat the shit out of Kermit.
It's a very abusive relationship.
It was a really bad relationship that they were in, so... That's my thoughts. Don't fuck with Denise. This is not her fault.
It was really funny to me because a lot of the people... First of all, if any of you witnessed it on Twitter, it was so funny. Basically, Black Twitter got a hold of the image. And, like, they hadn't heard about this before. They hadn't watched that... What was it, a first episode that was available?
It was like a 10-minute pilot. Yeah.
So if you've watched a pilot, you actually know... Denise wishes no ill upon Miss Piggy. And, Kermit, Miss Piggy were already separated. Denise is not part of the crew. Anyway, so half the memes were just, like, wrong. They were like, oh, snap, Denise used to be part of the crew. Anyway, so I recommend, if you haven't already, you should check out that pilot. It's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's right on YouTube.
The new Muppets pilot. It's really funny, and I hate to, like, be telling you to go watch a reality show, but it's not your mama's Muppets.
Yeah.
And... It was good, so I kind of can't wait for that one.
Nathan Fillion in the Piggy trailers, that went real far.
Yeah.
Really far.
Keep walking. Yeah. Nathan Fillion's butt is distracting, though.
Quick Star Wars update since you went through, like, quick pack stuff. Star Wars is being real good to women of color as of recent. At the head of the most recent... comic is a couple of color, Shara Bay and her husband Kez, whose last name I cannot say because it is a spoiler. So check it out. That just came out today. Shara Bay is the main character. She's the hero of the series, and she's already getting involved in all the crazy stuff that happens the moment that Return of the Jedi ends. Also on the count is a young black girl in Lost Stars. She is one of the two main characters. It's a romance novel about two kids who join the Imperial Academy and end up on opposite sides of the war, and it kind of tells the outside perspective of Return of the Jedi, or of the original trilogy. There's so much stuff going on in Star Wars this week. Force Friday came out, and there are so many options for little girls, which makes not at Target, but at Kohl's and other certain things. So it's a definite step forward. I'm thrilled and also upset that the Captain Phasma stuff flew off the walls and the Rey stuff flew off the walls, but comparatively they didn't have as many figurines. So one step forward, one step back, Star Wars. You're getting there. You're giving us more heroes that are interesting and diverse, but
keep moving forward.
Give us toys.
Right. As a low miffed at Target, for Force Friday, they had tons of shirts for men, for boys. They even had shit for dogs. They had one item for women, and it was socks. Meanwhile, Target has all of these Marvel clothes for women.
Yeah, I'm confused, especially because, like, Marvel was supposed to be the one that was definitely not pushing toward women before Perlmutter left. So,
it was a
Star Wars.
Very strange and confusing choice for Target as far as clothes were concerned. And then the cosmetics line got pushed back, so there also wasn't that. So unless a woman was going to get toys...
Oh, but Janelle Monáe is representing the cosmetics line, and I'm sorry, but that happened today, and I freaked out, and I was like, Janelle Monáe in Star Wars.
Somebody was like, why don't she be James Bond? I was like...
I agree.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Laid out, that'll be anything.
So it's, overall, thank you for the diverse characters, but, like, I think the best way to sum this up is to check out this article on 1138.com called Star Wars' Intersectionality Problem, where it seems like in order to get more racially diverse characters, we have to trade in sexuality-wise diverse or gender diverse, and it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, great job. Keep working on it.
Tip of the hat, wagging the finger at the same time. No.
We're really good at this. Red Wolf comic with Jeffrey
Verege. So, big, important, cool thing that is happening right now as part of the all-new, all-different Avengers. Red Wolf is joining the team again and getting his own standalone series since 1976. This comic artist, Jeffrey Verege, he's one of my, like, I've been following this guy forever.
Wait, is he the one who draws Native American
style?
He did, like, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered why that cover looked so familiar.
Yeah.
His art is the shit, everybody.
He's doing the cover art, and he's doing consultation and supervising throughout the entire comic, and then a Croatian man is drawing it, which is pretty cool. So, I would love to push for this hero to really make a scene the same way Miss Marvel did. I recently had an encounter, not an encounter, I mean I knew this person with a Native American friend of mine, and they had just wrapped up Assassin's Creed 3, and we were drunk, and they basically said, like, the end of that just reminded me so much of, like, what happened to my people. It feels like we don't exist anymore. It feels like we're a race. It feels like I don't exist. So that hit me really hard, and I think it's really important for us horrible invaders to, you know, support Native American culture. So if you could do me a favor and tell your comic shop to order Red Wolf and get this hero back on the shelves and get him back in the mainstream, let's push for that.
Do it. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the news we had listed.
Main topic.
I'm gonna move right on. Like I said, you know, it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter one.
Bonjour, Chabane.
So basically, wow, you did a good job.
Thank you. I know one word.
I will say hello to you in patois. Bonsoir. So these are our top 5 fictional female role models from television. And of course, feel free to share yours. You can either put it in the chat, you can tweet it at us, and we'll retweet it after the show. If you tweet us, you should also say why they're role models to you. And it would even be great if you picked folks who were role models to you growing up, because something that a lot of guys forget is that just like girls can have male role models, guys can have female role models, and I think it's important to talk about it. I went to my friend's house recently, and in his son's room, he had a picture of Wonder Woman saying we can do it. I was just like, so happy that's on your son's wall.
There's so one of my Star Wars friends on Twitter was asking, he was just talking, he like was doing a little video with his son's like 3 years old. He's like, who's your favorite Star Wars Rebels character? And he was like, Hera. And like he went on about how like she's such a strong pilot, and then he loves her cute green cheeks. And look, like guys can really look up to women, and you know definitely tweet that at us, because I would like to know who you looked up to, no matter who you are.
Yes.
So
we are very curious.
Yes. Yeah.
So number 1, of course, is Xena.
Woo!
Okay, we can do that for like 10 more minutes.
Yes.
So of course Xena has to go there because she's so influential that almost any other strong female, like if you say strong female on television, everyone will immediately be like, what, like Xena?
Yeah.
Because she kind of like remade the game when she came out. So Xena, for me, was a role model because growing up, I always wanted the warrior women to actually do something.
Yeah.
So quite a few fantasy films feature warrior women. They just don't actually do anything important. Like maybe they'll knock out the second in command.
Right.
Or they'll kill this guy over here so you can go and get to the temple. Like they weren't actually ever really accomplishing anything in movies. So being able to watch Xena every week actually solving the problems with her help of her smart female sidekick, you know, and both of them had faults and both of them had strengths, and it was just so nice to see women being treated as people.
In every way, like,
yes.
they all had multiple relationships. You know, Xena had been a mother at one point. Like, these were women who had real experiences. Yeah. and also would share experiences as he went on through the series. So it was definitely, like, it was great seeing a strong woman who had a softer side. I hate to say it so stereotypically, but
right. But it's something you don't get a lot. A lot of people feel like if they're making a strong female character, there's this set of things she has to be, and one of those things, she can't be motherly. She can't want to take care of the home. She can't want to be kind and compassionate. And Xena, it was never a question that she could be all of those things, and that she could also be wrong, and she could be fallible, and sometimes she could try to push people away and not feel like she had the whole range of human emotion, just like male characters get all the time. So she was a role model for me because I always just wanted to hit things instead of solving my problems with my brain. And so it was nice to know that there was somebody else out there who would rather use a frying pan to smack a bad guy in the head than to cook some eggs, damn it.
Yeah, she definitely, for me, she was a role model that I wanted to grow up to be. Like, that I was very, like, I'm really outspoken and I'm really loud, but I'm one of those people who talks a lot, and in my head I'm like, I'm scared of social situations. So that's how I've always been. And so seeing someone like Xena who could have a handle on stuff like that, who could go out and be brave, that was a very simple baseline for me. So I really, really looked up to her.
Yes, she was awesome. Although she wasn't my favorite character in the show. Callisto was.
Of course Callisto was.
I'm a bad guy.
I know you were. I liked Callisto, except, like, her first episode I had to get used to the screams because, like, they were very loud.
It was annoying. Do you know what she does now? She lives around here.
Oh, yeah.
And she teaches, like, the classes where you go namaste to each other. Spiritual healing and yoga and, like, she's really kind and sweet and loving and teaches you to connect with your inner self.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I think that there could have been no better person.
No better thing.
A person for the thing to end up with the fate.
Also, if this makes you rewatch Xena, be prepared for the New Zealand accents that when you were little thought were Greek accents.
Yes.
You were wrong. It was not an amphibolous accent.
They are New Zealand.
Zayna.
Zener.
Go get Zayna.
I love Zener. Zener is my favorite way to say her name. Have you seen Zener anywhere? It's like, Gabrielle, you have never called her Zener before.
Oh, Gabrielle. So, moving right along, of course we have to talk about the show Buffy, but I actually think Willow was a better role model in that show.
I do too. Willow still had all of her faults, but she made the best possible decision for most of her situations, whereas Buffy, more headstrong, more cocky, would make decisions that weren't beneficial toward her lifestyle, and I wouldn't necessarily consider her a role model because of her intentional wrongdoings.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't find a role model in a girl who was like, well, I gotta drop out of college and work at a burger shop now and make out with this terrible guy for me. Like, Buffy makes a lot of questionable choices. But Willow is someone who we really saw grow throughout the show. She was a quiet, nerdy girl who got picked on and ended up finding something that she was really good at, which helped her gain her confidence. She had the support of her friends, which helped her gain even more confidence. And she was able to eventually become an incredibly powerful witch in her own right, while never, sometimes she had her downs and whatnot, but she didn't have to sacrifice who she was at the core to do that. So I think she was a great role model for little Sarah.
She was also the first girl who taught me that it was okay to kiss girls, and that's not freakish or weird, that you can be a cool witch while you do it.
And I liked it.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Buffy was like who I really was, and Willow was who I was like trying to be.
Willow was definitely someone who I wished was my friend to tell me when I was making really stupid decisions.
Right.
Because I think she was the only one who, like, outside of Giles, would always be like, wait, no.
She would actually say that a lot. In fact, just put a little more hesitation before that, you had it perfectly. Wait! I was just like, what the fuck? What are you talking? This makes no sense, Buffy.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, we skipped. Bones. From the show Bones, I think she's a really great role model because she isn't the stereotype of women that we see so often on television. Not like, oh, I'm strong and I'm gonna kick your ass, and not, oh, I'm super brainy and I'm the nerdy kid. She is like a bitch, like total, like in control, has everything on lock, and is an ice queen, and doesn't really see the point of having all these emotions because she's got a fucking job to do. And I really think it's awesome to see that kind of female character too, because we've seen a lot of quirky male characters like that, but it was way less popular when she came out to have a female character with that kind of quirk. And having David Boreanaz as her foil was perfect. I don't know if you would have... Like, you need a stupid man to bash himself against the mountain of your impenetrable logic to show just how awesome.
Oh my gosh. That's
your
true.
impenetrable logic is. He had to just keep throwing himself against the fort that was her. And that made us fall in love with her even more. So I think she was a really great role model for people who, you know, can be logical and not be as an emotional, you know, roller coastery as that very highly emotional male that follows her around like a puppy.
Number 4 in our place is Zoe Washburn from Firefly and Serenity. I was originally thinking of Hera from Star Wars Rebels, but then I remembered it has to be someone I grew up on. And comparatively, Zoe is an even better version of that character. I would actually go as far as saying, but that's because I haven't spent that much time with Hera. Zoe was a captain without being a captain. You know, she was the leader without being the leader. She was the voice of reason who could also kick ass, and she was in a devoted, wonderful, healthy relationship. Everything about her character was kind of where, it's like, if you look at this woman, it's like, that's the logical place where you should be in life. Like, not in any specific way, but like, you should be confident, you should have your shit together, you should know what you're doing. And she just always had an answer for everything, almost everything. And yeah, I just really admired her. The way that she could keep the team together like no one else could, I think. And then,
finally,
Bulma! Bulma from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if you actually agreed with this. You just kind of went along with it.
No, I totally agree with you.
Bulma is incredible. She... Go on, first, you.
So, I liked her, first of all, in Dragon Ball, I liked her a little bit better. Although now in Dragon Ball Super, I also like her a whole lot.
Yeah.
But she's basically this character that's, like, unashamedly feminine, right? You know, she doesn't want to hang out and camp under the fucking woods and shit. But she's also incredibly intelligent, an inventor, and in fact, the entire reason that anything happened in that universe.
Oh, yeah.
And that the world Yarth didn't just get destroyed by the Saiyans immediately.
Goku dicked around in the mountains.
Goku dicked around in the mountains until finally, like...
Boom!
Everything was exploded. You know, she's the reason that it all started and that it all happened. And I'll let you talk about where she goes in the future. So
yeah, we started out, and she was the only girl for such a long time, and one of the things that I like about Bulma, and one of the things that actually stands out to me about DBZ, is that rarely will she ever actually bicker with another woman. She's really supportive of her female friends, like, you know, as little time as we get to spend with the women in Dragon Ball Z, you can tell those little signs. 18 is always at every party. You know, Chi-Chi and her are always hanging out. She's always been kind to everybody. And, I mean, as kind as Bulma can get,
right,
but to other women, she's been pretty great. She's never been that, like, I hate you. When Yamcha hung out with all those girls, she blamed Yamcha, not the girls. So, that was cool with me. But, yeah, I mean, she's this queen boss lady who can still have these faults and still be selfish and still have things that are wrong with her, but basically she, because of her smarts, she takes care of a giant group of muscly baby men, and she loves them all very, very much, and you know, it's good to have someone like Bulma on your side. So, and then on top of that, she's like the CEO of the world.
Right. She basically is like president
she
of the
owns
world
everything.
At this point. Like, she's just rich and taking her family off in her private jet to an island where she can afford an entire octopus. Are you fucking kidding me? Where did he even find that?
That was like one course of their meal, too.
Right.
It was like, here's the first course, a giant octopus. Here's a dinosaur we mined for you.
Right. She's extremely successful, and no one ever said you can't be smart because you're a girl in like Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
It was never brought up after, you know, she became an adult that, hey, why are you doing this? Shouldn't you be doing something more womanly? Like, I don't know, running a house or doing it. Like, no, it was a given that Bulma was going to be who she was and that Bulma was in charge of tech shit. Like, and I loved that as a kid. Like, Bulma, she's a smart lady. Why are you leaving her? She can't really fight, though. But that's fine, because Krillin was a fighter, and he died all the damn time.
Exactly. I honestly, like, that was one of the reasons, like, Bulma was the one character that I just couldn't get upset about her not fighting, because she was made for it. Like, Chi-Chi, I'd get upset. She's supposed to fight. That's what she's made for.
I get upset about Chi-Chi all the time.
I get upset when 18's not involved, but luckily she got, like, 2 or 3 movies that she basically starred in, which was cool. They were all against Brawly, though. Ugh.
Yeah, and this latest one, she's like, Krillin, you know I should go because I'm stronger than you, right? He's like, I know, but also because of that, I'd really rather you protect, like, all the kids that can't come. Could you just, like, be here so I know, like, no matter what, if I die, like, everything's gonna be okay? And
like,
she's
just in case I die, I'm probably gonna die, so.
She's like, fuck it. Fine. And that was their conversation. She was like, you know, I should really be in this fight. And he's like, kiss the hand. Can you just be wifey? And she's like, fine, I'll be wifey. Fuck it. Like, it was just like, all right, I'm really mad that you didn't put 18 in, but I'm also really happy you acknowledged that you didn't put 18 in.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it was little things that Dragon Ball Z wasn't good about not being sexist, but in little ways we were aware that the creator, you know, misguided though he may have been, did like women and did think women could be strong. Chi-Chi is often mentioned as being the strongest woman on the planet. You know, it appears that she just personally decided fighting is stupid.
I'm gonna yell at my children instead.
She was like, I want my kids to be scholars. Fuck all this fighting shit. Although she is the one who made Goten go Super Saiyan.
Yep.
Through training him.
Let's not forget these little things.
Right.
Let's also remember that human women bore Saiyans, which is freaky and weird. So.
Yeah, Bailey agreed. Bailey was
like, monster demons.
Why does everything that pop out of my vagina have a tail? Goku! We gotta have a conversation. Anyway. We're very professional podcasters. So those are our top 5 women role models from television that we grew up idolizing and liking a lot and that we think were really great for other girls to like and idolize. Again, on Twitter, we'd love it if you could tweet us your choices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, but tell us why you like them, because that's the extra cool part.
And use the hashtag #WomanUp so we can find you.
I'll make it super easy.
Because if you just tweet to dead air, we're not going to respond to you. Sorry.
You'll never see it. It'll never appear. So anyway, like we said, shorter podcast today. We're sorry, it's 100 degrees in here. But we will be on again Wednesday after next. Same bat time, same bat channel. And you can also find us, for those of you listening, on allgames.com. The audio version is where Bailey is trying to tell us something for a moment. Yes? Alright, fair enough.
Tell him to follow me on Twitter.
Tell him my Instagram account, Mom. No. Don't need an Instagram account. And be sure to listen to the audio version on allgames.com. God damn it, Bailey. Allgames.com.
What's Bailey's Instagram, Sarah?
Bailey. Excuse me. Bailey. Bailey. Look me in the face when I tell you to shut the fuck up. Okay? Okay. You can watch the video version on Twitch in the highlights or on youtube.com/SarahTheRebelOfficial. Sarah's an H, as God in the Bible intended. You can find me on Twitter at SarahTheRebel. You can find Katrina on Twitter at OhCatrina.
Yes. And you can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet if you search for OhCatrina. So if you do, also check out my... oh yeah, we're not promoting yet. You're already promoting! You were like, oh, tweet us. Okay. Find me at OhCatrina and look at MossEisleyUnderground.com. And we're going to show you now, we're going to tell you what our chick picks are.
Yes. So our chick picks of the week, for those of you who are new, what we do every week is we recommend things that we think you should check out that other women are doing or other folks are doing. We generally try to make sure it's women-focused content. But first, my chick pick is a shameless plug. I'm writing a book called Avarice Touched with my cousin. It is a fantasy book with 2 really awesome kick-ass fantasy ladies who need to come into their own power so they can save the world. You know, standard fantasy shit. you should pre-order it, because every pre-order is a vote. And if we get into the top 5 for number of pre-orders, we get published and possibly can get published by Nerdist. So please go to inkshares.com/project/Avarice-touched, or you can go to just inkshares.com and search Avarice Touch and pre-order the book. And hey, you know what? We're not even telling you to blindly pre-order the book. You can read the first chapter for free, and then decide. Of course, the first chapter is written in first person, and we've actually changed our minds and decided to write the whole book in third person, so there's a lot of rewriting going on right now, but that's not important. You still get an idea of what we're trying to do.
Great! Go check out Avarice Touch and read it. I guess my first chick pick is hashtag 100 Days of SW, also known as 100 Days of Star Wars. We're now 99 days away from The Force Awakens. I won't shut up about it. And I created a challenge for bloggers or people who like to take photos called 100 Days of Star Wars. So you can check out the hashtag 100 Days of SW on Twitter to find the criteria and jump in.
My next chick pick is blackgirlnerds.com. You should go check out their website. They're really awesome. They don't just share interesting think pieces, you know, like, oh, you know, what does this really mean, or what are people really saying when this happens, where can we go from here, you know, they have all those really nice evergreen articles, but they also promote cool things that other black girl nerds are doing, or black boy nerds are doing, so it's a really great resource to find out. If you need a little more diversity in your geeky stuff, go check them out.
And speaking of black girl nerds, Jamie from Black Girl Nerds is part of my New York Comic Con panel. Women in Geek Media is coming back for a sequel. We have a prime spot on Saturday at 2:45 in room 101A. So if you guys want to come out and say hello again, this year last year we had a standing room, which was great. This year we've got Jamie on board, and then I'm going to be there. My editor-in-chief, Alicia Garauso, is coming back. Our friend Jody Hauser is going to be on the panel. She writes the Orphan Black comic. Deb Aoki, who is a major manga person, she's translated, she's written, and she's been on top of like manga news for about 20 years now. And Sam Maggs, author of Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy. So that is our panel, and I'm so excited to be working with these ladies. So New York Comic Con Saturday at 2:45 in 101A. Come see us.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be an amazing panel.
So excited.
And the last one is, I think you guys should follow Samus Music on Twitter, because I like her a lot, and I feel like she should have more followers.
Yay! And my final pick is traumadance.com. If you guys are familiar with The Toxic Avenger or Return to Nukem High, that's Lloyd Kaufman's Trauma Studios, and they recently had an indie film festival. And I really like Trauma because they're very wacky, they're very cheesy, most of their stuff is a little corny, but they're a great studio that gives a lot of opportunities to LGBT creators. So there are a lot of transgendered creators and actors, and a lot of lesbian and gay people making movies. So go check out Trauma Dance, because it's going to be real cool, and if you like horror and gross stuff, it's going to be your bag.
Here, I'll post that one since
Thank you.
Chat for you.
All of the movies from Trauma Dance this year are up on that website, so you guys can go check them out right now.
Yes. And just to answer your questions, Retrograde, I have not attended Geek Girl Con in 2 years, I think. I was there with a panel for Geek and Sundry back in the day. I'd say that was 2 years ago. Unfortunately, the problem with Geek Girl Con is it's not yet big enough where people are hiring people to do things. So I would have to go solely as just something fun to do. And getting to Seattle when you don't have a job or make money in any way is kind of hard.
Yeah.
I was able to go to PAX because I had a paid job up there. So, although I am going to TwitchCon because I worked out something magical.
Woo!
And it's only costing me $60
Nice.
to get there. So, yay! So I will hopefully have some more news for you about TwitchCon coming up pretty soon. So, yes, I have been Sarah the Rebel.
And I have been OhCatrina.
And this has been
Woman Up Podcast. See you guys later.
Bye!